I'm NichBoy and welcome to Pocket. Now, on Monday, I asked you guys what you would like me to play today from a list of games coming out this week. You picked The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. But unfortunately, we don't have a copy of the game yet, so we went with your second choice, which is Black Desert Online, the new Korean MMO from Pearl Abyss. Now, unlike most MMOs, this one sort of prides itself on the story as opposed to just the grind. So obviously, MMOs have a huge amount of depth, and in the 15 minutes we have here, couldn't possibly scratch that. But we are going to show you the setup for the story and the sort of the starting area for the characters. You've seen a lot about the character creator, so we're going to skip over that and just sort of like get quickly into the game. So let's take a look. Okay, so we have our sort of classic options for classes up here. We've got Warrior, Ranger, Sorceress, Berserker, Witch, Wizard, Valkyrie, and Tamer. I played the Ranger in the beta, so I might give something else a bit of a look. Let's go Magic. Let's go Wizard. Hello, Gandalf. Oh shit! God, too real. Put your head down.
Goma Naru is the central city of trading. Back when ships from Valencia would anchor in Naru, children would greet the merchants and fireworks would light the skies.
Voiceover's great. It's like a trailer for the game.
Naru was a thriving city of sailors and merchants. And crowded areas were guarded by mercenaries. Little did they know what had arrived.
It's like one of those ads for Victoria. It's like, come to Victoria. Fireworks in the city.
A mysterious black smoke rose up over the ridge. It seemed to know exactly where it was headed. To Goma Naru. The Elysian stone reverberated. People started to disappear all across Goma Naru. In the end, there was no one left, and that day was soon forgotten.
The voice of this little creature kind of sounds like the ghost of a Patapon, and I like that. There I am. I'm drunk, obviously. Oh, you finally come to. I wandered all around here while you were unconscious. That's creepy. I watched you while you were sleeping. For a long, long time. I'm glad you are awake. You should be okay if you move your body. Please don't tell me you forgot about the deal. Press the W key to move forward. Humans always ask others to do bothersome chores. That is correct. That young man over there is looking at you all worried. Go talk to him. Who knows, maybe he'll help you. Sure. Now, the weird thing about this is that you can turn the cursor on and off. So right now, this is sort of more traditional, where I'm moving the mouse around and the cursor's in the middle of the screen. And then you hit control, and suddenly you stop moving the camera, and a cursor pops up. So then you can click on the overlay and stuff. So you can auto run to a location and use the interface while you're going there, or you can press control and sort of control the actual camera. It's a little confusing. You get used to it, but it's weird.
If you can tame a horse on the first move, you must be a natural horse whisperer.
Quest objective accomplished. Fields and horses are both good. There are more horses waiting for would-be owners than you think. You suddenly fainted and I was worried. How are you feeling? You don't look so good. It's probably because I'm old. I'm gonna be honest with you. What are you, like 12? Look at that chest. Not a wrinkle. Try this, please. Here's an HP potion. I have a few in my pocket. It'll help you recover. Like all MMOs, the strangers are very, very nice to you, or they hate you on sight. You'll find HP potions in your inventory. Potion, right click. I just want to get on a horse.
Run till you can't breathe.
Oh, I already hate you. How was it? Doesn't it work wonders? It tastes much better than the other potions. How about meeting the chief of this town? He used to be an explorer himself when he was younger. He's also a very wise man. I'm sure he'll have something to say for you. If you can tame a horse, yes. Okay, right, so that's just your default thing that you keep saying. I walk up to you, and you just say, if you can tame a horse the first time, you must be a natural rider. The first time, I was flattered. The second time, I feel like you say it to everybody. All right, So follow the arrow, hit T to auto run, which I really like, that I can just auto run to a location. Ah, hello old man. I too am an old man. Let us talk about old man things. How's your prostate?
Granddaughter's nightmares. If you really need it, I'd be happy to give it to you.
I do need your prostate.
That would be a great help.
I'm too old to care about this kind of thing anymore, you know. Here you are.
He's got a very shiny head, but the rest of his skin does not glisten. He only moisturizes the scalp. You seem to have some stories. Why don't you go see Eden? He will teach you magic. Terrific. Something about this that sort of becomes quickly apparent is that they didn't really have, I assume, the budget for full voice acting for at least the English version. So what you get is this, there's a lot of dialogue, there's a lot of conversation, there's a lot of story, but you get it in this ugly screen that it's not really clear when you're clicking buttons if you're clicking advance or getting a quest or whatever. So you're supposed to be reading this stuff, but then the characters just say the same couple of lines over and over again. And so you're listening to that, but you're reading something else. The writing's not great. So it never really gels together. I mean, something like Guild Wars 2 did it really well in a sort of budget way around that. They had these cool stylized conversations where the faces would come in these 2D portraits on either side of the screen, and it felt more focused on the story. Here, it doesn't feel like the story is important, even though they say it is, which is a bit of a shame. But then also, if it's not a good story, maybe it's not a shame at all. Maybe it's a blessing. Here we go. This is more like a sort of BioWare cutscene.
Ancient artifacts are my forte.
Everybody says they're an expert. Could
It's
you
Triss.
have done all that by yourself?
Not by myself. I'm with an ancient language expert and some quality excavators.
All these people are way too good looking except for the deer. This is something that always makes me hesitant when I get into fantasy games. Suddenly you just start hearing lots of names of things. Gem of Balance, Elysium Book, Stone Palace Chamber thing. I already can't remember them. None of them mean anything. The Dark Power. Goodness me, aren't you quite the picky little princess? Nice to meet you, I'm Eden. Are you talking to me? Because I'm clearly an old man. I assume you're talking to Triss. They say everything that happens is because of fate. I mean, destiny. Someday we might meet again.
Experience will.
That was it? I see lots of adventurers who lost their memories these days. What do you mean we might meet again? I didn't even leave the conversation. How about seeing Bunt, the skill instructor? I heard he was quite good at magic when he was young. How about you go see Bunt? He used to be good, but now he's shit. You're shit. You two might get on well together. Find Bunt, the skill instructor. Well, I'm not gonna find him. I'm just gonna auto go there. All right, Bunt, show me your terrible ways.
Who the hell is Commander Croxus anyway? Did he get promoted to commander by breaking bottles?
Lots of deers in this world.
Just an excuse to drink more?
Leave Alvia to the vigilantes.
Stop moving your mouth, you're not saying anything anymore. What is he doing? Maybe it's one of those things where it's a really long sentence in Korean, but it's short in English. So he's just voice acting the long Korean sentence. You're a wizard, it's been so long since I saw an adventurer who uses magic. I learned some magic when I was young. It's not too hard to use basic magic. Maybe this skill will be helpful for your adventure. How about learning this skill first? I assume this is because I lost my mind. Learn skill. Okay, what have I got here? Staff attack. Attacks the enemy with a staff with magical power. Fireball 1, that's what we're talking about. I got 3 skill points to put in 1 fireball. Oh, there are so many words on screen. Press the tab key or left switch between a non-combat and combat stance. You fool, don't you understand that holding down the mouse is much more effective? Fine, I'll just spam it. Okay, so press the S and left mouse button keys to use fireball. Nice. Interesting, cool. Press the F key to perform a secondary attack. What was that? Is it like a stab? Yeah, it's a stab. Right, okay, cool. So the way that the combat works is you've got like left mouse button, but then you use other keys, kind of like modifier keys, and you put together spells kind of with the keys, which is a cool mechanic. Let me just fight the way through the enormous crowd here.
You
All right, I'm off to defeat grass beetles because I pretty much, you know, proved my powers with the scarecrow and just walking through those bison. So I think I'm ready to up my game to insects. The auto run to a location is incredibly handy. All right, fireball. Good job, you're a great partner. I have something to give you. Oh, that's nice. Nightmares? Was it nightmares you were gonna give me? So throughout the game, you're sort of interacting with quest givers and I guess good people, but the entire time, this dark little evil spirit is inside of you. We figure he's part of the dark power, so we're carrying, it's like Dexter's dark passenger the whole time, and you can interact with it for advice and that sort of thing. But I feel like he's leading us down the wrong path. Weasels! So one of the cool things about the combat is that you have two ways of basically doing it. Every ability is assigned to a hotkey, so there I just press 3 and it casts my fireball. But you can also basically use the keyboard, the mouse and keyboard together to sort of cast your spell. So if I press S and left mouse, then I'm actually casting a fireball that way as well, which feels a little more interactive than just going off the hotkeys. And obviously, you know, at some point you could just press 1, but when you're in a bigger fight and you're taking on a lot of enemies in a big area and you're chaining all these abilities together, it kind of feels like you're actually playing chords on a piano or something, because you're just doing these different combinations and darting around and casting spells and stuff. It's really cool. I mean, it's hard to tell exactly what's going on most of the time, but I like all the destruction that I wrought around me. Fireball, dead weasel. Well done. Now nothing can stop us, is something good people always say. Okay, so I killed a bunch of imps and now I'm heading to the Western Guard camp. I assume to probably kill more imps. Oh, baby Sam, there is so much to do in the Western camp. I'll keep a record of this. Do I look tired? Yes, I'm tired. You're correct. The imps around here bother me day and night. Imps. The whole game is imps. Okay, can you talk to me again? I haven't stopped talking to you!
Rumor has it,
I'm sorry, we're too busy now.
deep within the forest to the south.
You're killing me. Have you heard we've got news that an ogre was captured? Captain Cliff successfully managed to seize the creature. You can check it out if you want. Sure, I want to look at an ogre. The rations wagon is late. Again. So what are these two options? Novice adventurer or something at the Western camp south ... How am I supposed to know what to pick? ... We could deal with the imps during the day at least, but I'm not sure about the south gate since they're short-handed. If time permits, you might go see Duvain at the south gate about the situation. Okay, so killing all those imps actually gave me a bunch of skill points. I've got 14, so I might buy some new abilities. They've got some recommended sort of learnable ones here. I've got a freeze. I'll take that. 5 points. And then I've got staff attacks. That's my second staff attack. And then mind training, casting speed increases. So does that increases the casting speed, I guess, of the fireball and stuff. So I'll take all of those. All right, let's take this ice ability for a spin. Ice. Frozen solid, and now melt it. This is a good combo. Okay, so to use the freeze, you can either press 5, or you could do the combo which is down and E. So there's not even a mouse click involved in this one. And then down and left click to give me a fireball to melt that frozen pup. One thing about the auto run is it really takes away the exploration factor. Obviously you could choose to not do it, but if it's there, I'm gonna press it. The quest was find Cliff. I'm like, I found him. It's T. And then he just runs straight to him. A lot of work to be done here at Western Camp. Thank God Jamie and Hensonvale are so capable. Spoiled Jarrett, securing an exploration node, rent Cliff's shoes. I mean, obviously I need to find out what's up with Cliff's shoes. Required contribution points. Item rental. You can use your contribution points to rent items from certain NPCs to help you in combat. So I can rent your shoes from you. This guy's running a racket. This is the army. You should just all be issued shoes. Humans always ask us bothersome questions. You're the most bothersome of all of them. Can you hear that? I sensed a strong aura from the south. Maybe something good will happen, or maybe something really, really bad. Who knows, right? You don't have to go there though, so think carefully. I accept was the only option. All right, Heading to an ancient stone chamber to finally see Eden again. Remember Eden? He's the baby boy who said, we should have a conversation again sometime, halfway through me talking to him. I really love the pathing in the game as well. It's like you're set on this line. It kind of goes, okay, if you want to auto travel, you're going down the road. We're going to put you in the middle. But there's going to be lots of other things in the middle, so you're just going to run through all of them. And every time he gets up to one, he just dips his head a little bit, like, ugh, gotta force it through. Start with the pointy bit. The game takes itself obviously very seriously, and then in runs old baby Sam Dampants. An old man who can't remember anything and can pass through your body like a kidney stone. I don't know what led you to come here, but this must be part of your destiny. That's so funny, you just said that. You see the stone behind him. The stone is hiding something. It's not a pleasant aura, but it attracts me. Let's check out that stone. The energy emanating from this artifact and that of the black spirits feels very similar. Approach the ancient remains.
Eden, look at this.
Is something wrong with the artifact? Could it somehow be your presence?
What?
You, though it's weak, you are possessed with dark energy.
Yeah, my little buddy.
Hey, tell us anything at all you can remember about the black energy. You must rid yourself of all those hallucinations.
Eden, stop. He seems unstable. Are you okay, Eden?
You're one step too late.
Oh no, he's got a face. Oh, I gave him teeth.
It seems the black energy has destroyed your memory. We better report this to the shrine. Remember, friend, I'm Eden.
I'm so sorry. That was the stupidest part of the whole game. There's this big dramatic thing. I break the artifact. I release the dark spirit. They're really worried because the end of the world is probably coming about. And then I walk up to him and he goes, remember, friend, I'm Eden. You narcissistic prick. The black spirit seems to have awakened, the black illusion appearing to you. I know what it is. It's hard to explain right now. Yet you will learn by yourself from your experience, and the experience will help you. I feel like it may not be too hard for you to explain right now. I feel like if we sat down for maybe just 5 minutes, we could have a drink, and you could just explain exactly what I shouldn't do, rather than going, you'll figure it out, and by figuring it out, you will figure it out.
Never stop seeking light, even in the deepest darkness.
Okay, let's leave it there. Okay, so that's Black Desert Online. There is some cool stuff about this game. I particularly like the device, I guess, the narrative device of having that black spirit in you. You kind of have the bad guy that you're fighting against inside of you the whole time. It's not conveyed very well at all because the rest of the game only acknowledges that that happens in cutscenes, and then the ambient dialogue and that sort of thing is constantly reminding you that, oh no, you don't exist here. You're really in a video game. But that ultimately I feel like is going to come to a head where you need to fight yourself, and that's kind of a cool device. We've seen it in other games, but it's a bit different for an MMO. The character creator obviously is super powerful and great and a good way to get into the game, but it is the combat that's going to keep you here. The combat is great. The combat is really, really good, chaining that stuff together. When I was in the beta, I played as a ranger, so I wasn't chaining spells together, I was chaining together different moves. I was way faster, I was nimble, and I was zipping around a much bigger area, shooting arrows and darting around and stabbing things. And this feels substantially different. The kind of combat of putting together the different spells, the combinations, and particularly the piano playing key binding stuff is really cool, and I think is something that I would like to see in other games. Unfortunately, for me, the rest of the game is crap. And I'm saying that having only played, an hour or so of the beginning of an enormous MMO. But the dialogue's terrible, the voice acting's terrible, the graphics, they look good, but then they don't look good when they're all mashed on screen. There's a lot here that just looks crappy, I guess. It's so cluttered, and it is so hard to tell what's going on. A lot of the time, it's so difficult to see what you're supposed to be aiming at, the names of things, where you're supposed to be going. The UI is not intuitive at all, and I think as a new person to MMOs, this is not the MMO to start with. But if you have played other MMOs, and specifically if you played other Korean MMOs, as much that gets lost in translation in those Korean MMOs gets lost here, but there is, you know, also the cool stuff that we don't see in a lot of sort of more Western games. So the good comes with the bad, and you're going to have to weigh up whether or not this is the kind of game for you. I'm definitely going to put a little more time into it because I do love MMOs and I do have a bit of a hole in my heart for that kind of game, but we'll see whether or not the cool combat can actually drag me through the actual almost physical pain of playing the rest of the game. The game is out today for PC, so if it tickles your fancy, have at it. Alright, that's it for today's episode of Pocket. My Pocketeers. NichBoy out. And old baby Sam out.